Welcome to the podcast of the French National Office for Contemporary Performing Art Dissemination, but you can call us Onda. Thank you for listening to this episode. We are taking you along to meet inspiring professionals and artists from the performing arts sector coming from near and far. At Onda, what drives us is facilitating, supporting, connecting, listening, advising, always with the aim of being useful to those working in the performing arts sector. To learn more about us and stay updated on our activities, visit onda.fr.
Hello everyone, I'm Geoliane Arab, International Advisor in Onda. We are in Chaillot today, which is the National Theatre for Dance in Paris. And we are here thanks to the presence of Daria Koval, Svitlana Oleksiuk and Rita Lira, three choreographers and artists from Ukraine, based now in different places. We were very lucky to have you at Onda participating to our meeting, which is a meeting between artists and professionals that took place a couple of weeks ago during Camping in CND, which is a partnership with the Centre National de la Danse. And Camping is a training and networking event that takes place over 2 weeks of time. And we thought, since you are here in Paris, which doesn't happen every day, it's a good opportunity to have a little conversation about you, about your work. So thank you, all of you, to have taken the time to have this conversation with us. Maybe you can tell us about the projects, the artistic projects that you are working on currently during this residency in Paris. Daria, do you want to start?
Hello, my name is Daria. I am from Dnipro city, Ukraine. Currently, I moved to Spain, to Tenerife, after the full-scale invasion of Russia to Ukraine. And now I work internationally with themes like resilience, trauma, and war.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us today here. It's a big pleasure. I'm Rita. I'm Ukrainian choreographer. I base in Paris 2.5 years. And now we are working with Daria together on our new creation in Chaillot.
And maybe you want to tell us a little bit about this new project that you're both working on and how it started, where you met.
Actually, we've met on other project. It's Moving Border project organized by Aerowaves, and we met this year. This project concentrate on building new connection between Ukrainian dancer and choreographer who left Ukraine after full-scale invasion. So we met on the first meeting in Czech Republic. And there it was first time that we met physically with Daria, because we saw each other like in internet and Instagram, but then we met physically and we understood that it's definitely something between us. We want to create something. We have some similar vibe, and then open call appeared and we applied together.
We also decided that it would be nice to find this connection between two artists who are originally from Ukraine, but currently we're based in different European countries. And in our work, we explore the cyclicality in universe, in world, nature, and cyclicality of wars.
The name of our project is L'Éternel Retour. And it's about, as Daria mentioned, cyclicality. Also, we are trying to explore this topic from different dimensions, as physics, history dimension, and philosophy. For example, in philosophy, we based our research on works of Nietzsche. In physical dimension, we based our research on works of Sadi Carnot and Louis de Broglie. I would like to add that we work with in collaboration with French visual artists. So for us, it's something new to have this experience when we work with a lot of projection and visual art.
Thank you. And what about you, Svitlana? Just to say that we've also had the chance of having you in Camping during our in 2022, I think. You were invited, you were participating for 2 weeks in the whole program, and this year we could invite you again to participate in the professional meeting that we organized. So if you can tell us a little bit about your previous projects, but also about what you're working on currently.
Yeah, it's my second time in Paris, and actually I'm living in Ukraine all my life. Just I studied 2 years abroad, and my name is Svitlana Oleksiuk. I'm working last years. I'm working mainly with Ukrainian heritage, so with the topic of heritage in dance, and I have to tell the truth, there are not so many works on my mind, not so many artists in Ukraine also that are busy with the heritage, and I think that it must be addressed more than it is now. I also think that it is also within this political context very important. And now I'm working on the project in Chaillot its name is Pylipenya. It's actually such a also artistic way of pronounce the name of my newborn child. Whose name is Pilip, and it's a project about Ukrainian. It should have been the project about Ukrainian childhood, but because of some organizational problems, babies cannot be so easily delivered to theaters and participating in the performances. It is rather now the project about maternity experience, and I tried to do it, to concentrate it not only on our time, but also to make such an excursus to Soviet time and to time before the Second World War.
It seems to me that you are all, in all the projects that you've mentioned, you're addressing quite difficult topics, difficult for the audience, but also for you as artists to work with in the studios and in your research. It seems to me that you, in a way, everything can be danced. Would you agree with that?
This question is not new to me, because I'm also working with texts a lot, and sometimes I feel these difficulties to express through means of one media all the meanings, all the nuances of the meanings that I want to express, and fortunately now we can mix medias, so if it's the dance performance, it doesn't mean that you will just see movements. It can also be words, pronounced words or written words, video and so on, and I use it also quite often in my performances. But if to talk purely on what can be danced and what I'm interested in to engage with dance is also so for example, now I'm looking for ways to express some irony or even critiques of Soviet time through movements, so not through any calls for action or any sentences, but through movement phrases. And I'm actually not sure that I will succeed in this, but I tried, and I guess this work in progress would be great attempt just to check it. Yeah.
I'm curious. Also, Daria, you're addressing other topics as well that are happening in the same moment as the full-scale invasion that is ongoing. So how do you deal with this, with the fact that you're talking about what is happening in the present time?
You know, from the very beginning of the full-scale invasion, for me it was really very difficult even to explain my feelings in words. So when I was asked to dance about it, for me it was really very painful, because the time distance is so short, and we currently live in this very moment, in the moment of war, and we create our pieces about this topic. And it's really very difficult, because from one point of view, we feel that it's our it's very important for us as for artists to talk about it, but as a human beings, it's also very difficult to live through it and to share it with people. And also, it's hard to find a proper way how to talk about it, because we think that war in Ukraine, it's personal, but also it's universal. And war happened before, and unfortunately they're gonna happen after. And that's the big challenge, how we should talk about personal things, but using tools that are gonna be universal.
I have really similar experience and feelings. That first thing that I that appeared in my mind when I came to France and understood that I have opportunity to create something. It was the idea to create something about the war, to talk about the war, and also I felt that it's kind of my mission here. It gives me sense to be here and keep connection to Ukraine. I don't want to break it. I want to support Ukraine. I want to support Ukrainian dancers and culture, etc. But at the same time, as this topic really big, hard, and new, and it's going on, so we don't have enough time and space to reflect, to understand. So we don't have, no one taught us how to talk about it, which tools we can use now, which tools we can use and we cannot use when we're talking from the stage about such kind of topic. So for me, these 2 years, I've been searching for right way, also how to talk about it, how to not to be so direct and precise, and how to not push audience, but also share my feelings, my experience, and what works for me. It's going through personal things, personal experience. That's what we are trying to do in our piece.
It brings me to, the way that you describe the work also describes this state of, the safety of a studio where you are working and you feel that disconnected from the outside world. But in your case, you are bringing the outside world into the studio. So you're breaking also this disconnection. So what is keeping you also busy in your mind, all the while concentrating on the artistic work?
This 3 months of this summer I spent in Ukraine, and I wasn't sure if I want to come back to Paris, because here I have much more safe situation, and I can live without air raids, etc. But also for me, keeping connection with Ukraine is really important, and I decided to come back here actually to stay connected to Ukraine through residency and through this art piece. So it gives me sense. During our standing in residency, I still didn't turn on my application about air raids in Kyiv, and every time I receive this notification that it's bombing in Kyiv while we are here working on our residency, so it helps me. I don't know if I can say helps me, but it gives me feelings of these 2 dimensions, 2 realities of this peaceful world here in Europe and France and Paris, and this war world that is just on the border, just so close and so far at the same time.
I would say that we are super grateful to be here, and we can work in safe place and in beautiful theater. But despite that, the war is always with us. It's with us in the studio, and with us in our hearts and thoughts. So despite physically we are in France, I think that mentally we are still in Ukraine.
Rita, you said you have been here for 2 years and a half, and Svitlana, this is your second time, and now it's been 3 weeks in Paris. I'm wondering, like, in your interactions with other professionals, with other artists, with organizations, what have been your impressions so far, or something that you would like to share about, bringing this external, internal gaze on Paris and France?
First of all, I'm extremely grateful for all opportunities that I got here. I actually couldn't imagine that artistic support can be so big here. And maybe in Paris, first time in my life, I felt that my artistic practices are important. So it gives me a lot. At the same time, Paris is really like challenging. And I feel sometimes that I just to walk slowly, I need to run really fast at the same time. You know what I mean? And it's pretty intense. But I also developed that institution power, that actually it's nice when you're an artist to work with different institutions. So I've been learning how to do that. And also I work in a Ukrainian institution, in Ukrainian contemporary dance platform, and I'm trying here to manage to propose, to talk more about Ukrainian contemporary dance and to organize Ukrainian platform during festival or something like that. Or even we have video project. It's YouTube channel that calls Let the Body Speak, and it's about Ukrainian contemporary dance during the wartime. So it's online, it's free, you can go there and you can watch video that created by Ukrainian choreographers there. So I feel that at the same time, I'm as an individual artist learning how to work with institution, how to show my performances here, and it took for me 1.5 years to show my piece here in Paris. So it's quite long process, but at the same time, I'm also representing Ukrainian contemporary dance platform, and I'm looking for the way how we can collaborate with some institution and have nice organize some events, festivals here with this connection to Ukraine.
Thank you, Rita. Svitlana, you have other impressions.
I have other experience. That's why maybe my impressions are a little bit different. Of course, it's a really safe space, not only in terms of being not bombed, but also in terms of having enough time and not being interrupted by other activities and other connections, people that I have a lot in Kyiv. It's of course good to have this possibility to concentrate, but I would say that it makes sense, this safeness makes sense if you have something to say, if you have something that another experience, not only the experience of being safe in institutions. So it's good to come here from time to time. I mean, to have this exchange, I think it's really working. And at the same time, I have the impression of support and being open. And I have also impression not only to people and also from people and also from institutions that they are being open to support. At the same time, they don't want to touch too much too difficult things, situations, questions, maybe to touch Ukraine that doesn't seem so simple and so understandable for them now. And it's quite clear. I mean, it's very human to have this fear. But at the same time, I feel that it's not good strategy for the people themselves, as for the people themselves, also for the institutions as well, because in political sense, it leads to this constant fear to have any contact to war, which is already happening, and it means to live in fear in fear to Russia, before Russia, or how is it? Correct. And from the just professional sense, it means that all the attempts to invite anything actual starts, so it transforms to the attempt to invite something actual but also safe, and it's something that contradicts for me, that you cannot be so sure in advance what is the result of if you want to present something new, because I saw some performances here in France, and it seems that all the tricky questions that are addressed in the performances are not really tricky, and that's what it's like a play in being sharp. It's a little bit for me it was a little bit I wouldn't say generous, but a little bit like naive, maybe sometimes too naive, and sometimes it's better to not to have this, not to be afraid of your audience reaction that can be not always predictable.
This is a very nice note to end on, because it goes back to what we very much defend in Onda, which is taking risks, and taking risks to meet other people, and taking risks to go into conversations that can make us get out of this potential caution and this fear of addressing difficult issues. And this is what we hope, that with these encounters that you've had here and that we've had with you, that we've allowed these small possibilities to open. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, extremely thank you. It's amazing opportunity for us to be here and to talk to you.
Дякуємо. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!